Yo, yo. Welcome to the Everlast channel. I'm in Jesse's house. Jesse asked me a question the other day and I drove up here to answer it for you. Does this Everlast 262
run 60-10?
Run cellulose rods, run 60-10? I think it will. I think it will. I got an 1/8" 60-10, 3/8 plate, 30-degree bevel, a little over a 1/16 in the root face, about a 1/16 in the gap. I'm going to run 85 amps. I'm going to run half of this downhill. I'll stop and run the other half uphill. I'm not worried about tying in the middle. I'm not trying to do a procedure thing, just running up and down. I'll keep the same amperage. I don't think it'll get away from us. I'm not turning anything. There's options of hot start, the percentage of the amperage, time and all that. I don't want to turn any of it on. I just want to run, see what it does.
Just run it as she comes.
There you go. Isn't that a song? Well, Jesse, I'm gently holding this in there. Create that keyhole, let it fill right above. How about a little uphill? Yeah, I'd say it runs 60-10. It looks like it ran 60-10 all right. I mean, it stayed in there. I wasn't cramming it in there. You know, a lot of times I'll push it in there hard enough to bend the rod. Uphill, as long as it's breaking the walls down and filling underneath. I stitch occasionally, let it blend.
How'd the arc stability feel on that run?
Now, you asked that question. I gotta put this in there. I think the hot start on some of these machines, that's a great feature. But I turn it off when I'm running the roots or filling some gap. So I think what's happening is you'd be stitching along, and every time you take a step to stitch out and let your weld pool cool, then the machine thinks, oh great, I need to do another hot start. But I tend to turn them off, and just like I got way more control over it. Now, I do like that feature, hot start, and the arc force and all that. But it's in a rod that we're going to run continually and not work, not stitch. So I'm gonna keep it at 85 amps, go uphill with a hot pass, which is simply initiate the arc, get the pool, step out of it, let it freeze. I'll come back down on the leading edge of that and do it again. So it's digging, filling, and I'll step out and let it lay there flat. I don't want to stay in the pool. So let's see what happens here. Jesse, I'm kind of digging at this thing, trying to get the wagon tracks out. That's all I'm doing. Continuous weld. It's like a series of steps you just adding in there. You want the arc that's big. That's the whole deal with cellulose rods. You want it to big, but ground this out the first time, just kind of knock the top off there. You see two slag lines on either side of the root, and that's what we're digging out with the hot pass. So uphill, I tend to leave the amperage alone. Downhill, I'll go 115. So if you'd be so kind as to adjust the amperage for me.
You got it.
I'll grab a fresh bullet here.
115.
I'll strike the arc. I'll drag this down. And that's holding a pretty tight arc. And then I'll rock it back up. So I'm purposely long arcing it. When I do that, it decreases the amperage, increases the voltage, but blows everything to the top side away, so it's not running down in front of me. The series of rocking motions is what I do. And it's hot and fast, so. Toward the end of this run, I really pushed it in there and gouged it.
I saw it.
And it didn't back off. I mean, the machine didn't cough or spit or nothing, so. Of course, we're running 115. It's pretty high, but the downhill part of it tends to leave a flatter concave section, so go back and fill that in. I could run a fill pass uphill with a 7018 and a cap uphill, same thing. I run those at 80 amps since the plate's nice and toasty already. Camera guy thought he was going to have to pay up there. Jesse, I'm kind of wiggling this back and forth quick. I don't want to get into my beveled edges. I don't want to leave a crowned up convex bead. So I just want to stay in the pool, weave wide so it lays flat, keep right on going. Short steady arc, rod touching the weld metal on the bevel face. Knock the slag off here. Didn't get into my beveled edges. It is a little high. Let's clean. I'm gonna clean it out. Get the rest of it with the arc. When I do this cap, I'm not gonna weave outside of the groove. Try to keep the rod in the pool, leading edge. And I actually point the rod slightly downhill. So the main thing is, the question was answered. Yes, it runs 6010. Runs 6010 roots, hot pass. We ran a 7018. We left the amperage about 80 amps, I guess. In the fill pass, didn't really notice much, but on the cap, I think I realized I made a mistake and left an arc force setting, left it alive because it kind of became active out here on the cap. But again, you know, hey, first time running it, I'm learning a lot. It's got some real capabilities. I would definitely enter that into your repertoire of repairs and fabrication. If you got some cellulose rods you need to run, definitely. Fine. So, on behalf of Everlast Channel, Bob Moffatt, Ram Nation 58, weld mean, weld green.